And for more on the Super Bowl, we welcome in our buddy Jason Fitz, first time ever on SportsNation.
I feel honored. Like I'm happy. This is hot. This is nice, guys.
Well, welcome in. We're excited to have you.
Is this the Ghostbusters look?
Well, no,
who
just
are we going to call?
I mean, Trevor Scales inspired the shoes. I'm going to call Trevor and say, like, I can't wear regular shoes and be around Trevor. I got to go with something. Plus, I'm not particularly tall, so I need all the height I can get. I feel like
we also understand that. He fits into this show perfectly, right?
Strategy.
Welcome in. That's perfect.
So, Fitz, let's start with this, right? So let's put our two heads together. Yours on music, mine on looks, and my bad, gambling.
Okay.
And so we'll talk about the national anthem bet.
Okay.
You know I'm a degenerate. I love this. Jasmine Sullivan, Eric Church, over under a minute and 59 seconds.
Over.
Absolutely,
Pound the
right?
over. Well, and let me say, I played the anthem a bunch of times on fiddle. I've sung the anthem some in my life.
Yep.
And they are very regimented on how long it is. Also, dirty secret, if you hear a background track on the anthem, I hate to reveal this to the world, it's pre-tracked, so they know how long this thing's going to be. However, whenever you get into duets, I did a duet with the anthem a few years ago with Jimmy Allen, who's a country singer, and like I played and he sang. It gets complicated, man, because like everybody wants to do their own thing and put their own spin to it. Personally, I'm a fan of like a clean anthem, get in, get out. But no, with two singers on this thing, it's going to go pound the over all day.
Even money, by the way. Even money.
Oh.
Let's talk about the game, though, because we had an interesting conversation before you came in here about your feelings about these two guys behind you. Who you got in the game, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs or Tom Brady and the Bucs?
Okay, let me be clear. Yes, I hate both of these. Look, I'm a Raiders fan. Like, I have a Raiders tattoo up here. Like, I'm diehard, right?
Love it.
So I got the Chiefs. That's never going to happen. And until Tom Brady admits it was a fumble and there's no such thing as a tuck, we're mortal enemies. So, like, I'm out on both of these guys. But realistically, you don't beat the Chiefs. I don't think anybody can beat the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is too effective. I'll go back to the one time they lost this year was to my beloved Raiders. In that game, I think the under talked about part of it is the pass rush win rate was really good. The block rate was really good for the Chiefs. They actually were able to keep Mahomes clean, but he had a ton of time. And when he had a ton of time, he didn't know what to do with the ball. So after that, everybody came in and said, okay, we're not going to blitz a lot of people. We're not going to send a lot of people. Buffalo did that right after them. Got crushed for it, right? So you don't beat the Chiefs twice, and you don't just have to outplay Patrick Mahomes. You have to outcoach Andy Reid. I don't think anybody can do that. This Chiefs team is set up not just for now, but for a long time. They're going to be really good.
Now that we've given you the platform to get off your unbridled hate for these two franchises, I'd like to pivot back to halftime. Okay. We understand that you have an affinity for the musical accoutrement and everything like that. Why don't you give us your top 5 halftime performances at the Super Bowl of all time, a list according to one Jason Fitz evidence.
If Paul McCartney's on this list, you're no longer invited on this show.
Yeah, Paul McCartney is not on this list.
That's
Greeny, don't at me.
Good start. That's all I wanted to clarify.
And look, I'm going to make all of the ESPN bosses mad here. Like, Springsteen not on this list either. Like, I'm out on all of this, okay? So
I'm not doing that. That was all Fitz. That was all Fitz, not me.
It was really a great time on my one time on the show. Okay, so they asked me for my top 5. This one was tough, so we'll start at number 5 because every list should start at 5 and build up the excitement. At number 5 on the list, JT and Janet. And look, everybody talks about the obvious wardrobe malfunction, but it wasn't just about that. I mean, Janet was absolute fire in this match. I mean, everything about this was great. And this was an era, teaser, you're going to see more of this coming up. This is an era of mashups. I'm really a big fan of what they were doing in that moment, trying to combine multiple generations. A lot of people don't realize when they put these halftime shows together, they're trying to get the broadest set of the audience they possibly can.
SportsNation!
So they want some of the people that might remember Janet's work from like the 90s, right? And they combine that with JT coming in hot. Like this was a great performance. So that's at number 5. Number 4 on my list, we're going to go with a little bit of Beyonce with Destiny's Child. We're talking about the first one. I'm not talking about like Weird Crouch Coldplay. No, we're talking about the original version of this when Beyonce was at her absolute fire like she always is. But Destiny's Child was still relevant. They came out, they did their thing, and it was sort of this moment of seeing the greatness of the band, but also seeing the greatness.
Trevor disagrees with this, I can tell.
I just liked the second Beyonce iteration as well. So
wow,
I'll take Beyonce. Whatever.
Humble brag, I was in the stadium for the second iteration with Beyonce, and we went and got some food midway through. It got a little boring. I'm just saying.
Flex,
be careful because you're about to get killed by Beyonce Twitter fans.
It wasn't Beyonce's fault. It was Coldplay's fault. They can kill me. At number 3 on the list, I went over to a little bit of Aerosmith. Again, we're gonna hype the mashups here in that era that they were doing so well. Aerosmith coming in, and then you got NSYNC, Britney. They're all singing each other's songs, which I think is one of the coolest moments that you have there. Plus, Aerosmith, just rock gods anyway. So I like the way they crossed a lot of genres in this. Then everybody was a little out of their comfort zone, but they all, you could see, influenced each other. A really cool moment. A little Kumbaya sing-along right there. Number 2 on the list for me. This one hits my heart. This was my first Super Bowl I got to attend. The band Perry, when I was playing for them, we played the pregame show in New York. And I'll be honest with you, after 2 songs in, I was done because the second song in was the one that they were actually performing on TV. So we still had to do the rest of a whole set. The entire time I was just thinking, get me in the stadium. We were 8 rows off the field in MetLife for Bruno Mars, who absolutely killed it. I mean, absolutely destroyed that performance. And Bruno gave heat because, like, his tempos, like his upbeat feel, it's like being in the club, and he knew exactly what to do with those arrangements. It was a killer performance. I think too much conversation about Red Hot Chili Peppers and whether they did or didn't play. You know, you can just throw all that aside and say Bruno went out there and crushed it, which takes us to our number 1 spot on the list. This wasn't even close.
No doubt.
Wasn't even close.
Yep.
So I was in Nashville at the time, and I was at Dave & Buster's, this little, like, arcade place, right? And the place was half full of Colts fans, half full of Bears fans, and they were yelling at each other the whole game. Everybody, the obscenities coming out of people's mouths in a place for children was offensive. But we got to halftime. Purple Rain, as the rain is falling down, and I looked around and every single person had their hand in the air. Every single person was singing it along. That is the absolute ultimate performance by, I think, the ultimate performer. And as great as he is, and we all know he is, still underrated for his ability to play everything, sing everything, write everything, his ability to be at the forefront of music. I mean, Prince crushed it. Just go back and watch that one.
And now we're all going to have Purple Rain stuck in our head for the rest of the day. No problem with that at all. Jason Fitz, you're amazing. Thank you. And we can't wait to watch The Weeknd perform. Hopefully he'll be in that top 5 list next time you come on. And I hope. We'll see. But you're always welcome back, so thanks for coming.
Yes.
Rex Grossman's actually at that Dave & Buster's right now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.